Look at that tire. Brown, cracked, sun-baked rubber that makes a perfectly clean car look like it's been sitting in a junkyard for a decade. Now watch. One swipe of a sponge soaked in a clear liquid that costs less than $1. Watch that brown oxidized surface transform. Deep, rich, factory black. Satin finish, no grease. No shine that drips down the sidewall. No slick film that flings itself all over your paint at 60 miles per hour. Just clean, dark, conditioned rubber that looks like the day you drove it off the lot. And the liquid that did that? You can buy it at any pharmacy in America for about $1. $1. Not 20, not 15, 1. The $5 billion auto detailing chemical industry has been selling you a lie every single time you've walked down that auto parts store aisle and grabbed one of those flashy bottles of tire shine. They have known about this solution for decades, and they have made absolutely sure you never found out about it. Welcome to the Buried Blueprint. I'm glad you found this channel. If you care about the truth that billion-dollar corporations spend enormous amounts of money to keep buried, hit that subscribe button and ring that bell right now. Because what we do here is drag their secrets out into the light, one video at a time. This community is growing every single day with people who are done being milked by industries that manufacture problems so they can sell you the solution over and over and over again. Hit subscribe. You're going to want to be here for every single one of these. Now let's talk about what's actually happening to your tires, because once you understand this, you will never look at a bottle of tire shine the same way again. Here's something the tire industry actually knows very well, and the detailing chemical industry prays you never find out. Tires are engineered to protect themselves. When your rubber is fresh, it contains specific chemical compounds called antioxidants. These are built directly into the rubber compound by the tire manufacturer. Their entire job is to protect your tires from the one thing that destroys rubber faster than anything else: ozone and UV radiation. As your tires age and get exposed to sunlight and air, those antioxidants migrate to the surface of the tire. They form a thin protective layer. That is what causes the brown discoloration you hate. That brown color? That's not damage. That's your tire doing exactly what it was engineered to do. The technical term for it is blooming, and it means your tire is alive, working, protecting itself. The brown surface is a layer of oxidized antioxidants that sacrifice themselves so the core rubber underneath stays flexible and strong. Now here is where the betrayal begins. When you spray a solvent-based tire shine on that brown surface, you are not conditioning your tire. You are not protecting your tire. You are stripping that protective layer right off the rubber, dissolving it with the harsh petroleum solvents that make up the base of virtually every single commercial tire dressing on the market. You are removing your tire's own immune system just to get a temporary wet look shine. The silicone sits on top of the rubber like a coat of wax. It looks great in your driveway. You back out, hit the highway, and within 45 minutes, that silicone is slinging off your tires at speed, coating your wheel wells, your paint, your fenders in a greasy, invisible film. Your car is now harder to wash, your tires are now more exposed, and in 3 days, when the shine has worn off and washed away, your tires look worse than before. Drier, more cracked, more brown, more damaged. So what do? You go back to the auto parts store, you grab another bottle, you pay another $20, you repeat the cycle. That is not an accident. That is a business model. Let's go back in history for a moment, because this story goes deeper than most people realize. Glycerin, the compound we're going to talk about today, is one of the oldest and most well-documented conditioning agents in human history. It was first isolated in 1779 by the Swedish chemist Carl Wilhelm Scheele, who discovered it as a byproduct of soap production. By the 1800s, industrial manufacturers and craftsmen across Europe were already using glycerin-based solutions to preserve and condition rubber products, leather, wooden handles, and mechanical seals. Early automotive engineers in the first half of the 20th century routinely used glycerin in maintenance formulas for rubber components because they understood the science. Glycerin is what is known as a humectant. That means it has a natural and powerful ability to attract and hold water molecules from the environment and pull them directly into whatever porous material it contacts. Rubber is porous, deeply porous, and glycerin bonds to it on a molecular level, pulling moisture inward, restoring flexibility and density to rubber that has been dried out by sun, heat, and chemical exposure. During World War II, military mechanics maintaining jeeps and trucks and aircraft in desert environments, where rubber degraded at an accelerated rate due to extreme UV and heat exposure, used glycerin-based formulas on tires, seals, and hoses to keep equipment operational far beyond what standard maintenance would have allowed. The United States Army technical manuals from that era reference glycerin as a conditioning agent for rubber and leather components. This was not a secret to engineers then. It was standard knowledge, practical, cheap, effective. So what happened? Why don't we use it anymore? Why is every shelf in every auto parts store stocked wall to wall with petroleum-based silicone sprays instead of a $3 bottle of glycerin? The answer is simple. The answer is always simple when you follow the money. Glycerin cannot be patented. It is a naturally occurring compound. No corporation can own the formula. No company can trademark it. No brand can create a proprietary version of it that locks you into purchasing their specific product. A pharmacy-grade bottle of pure glycerin costs between $1 and $3 and contains enough product to treat your tires dozens of times over. You buy one bottle and you are set for months, possibly over a year. There is no repeat revenue model in glycerin. There is no upsell. There is no loyalty program. There is no premium version. Just a cheap, effective compound that works better than anything they can sell you, that lasts longer than anything they bottle with a chrome label and a racing font. The detailing chemical industry cannot profit from the truth, so they buried it under an avalanche of marketing, celebrity endorsements, sponsored reviews, and shelf placement deals with major retail chains. They built a $5 billion empire on selling you something that actively damages what you're trying to protect. Before I give you the exact formula, I need to tell you something important. This is just one of the buried blueprints. One of dozens of solutions that industries have quietly removed from public knowledge because they replaced a profitable product with something cheaper and better that benefits you instead of them. There is a growing archive of these solutions, covering everything from structural wood preservation to mold elimination to concrete sealing to rust treatment, all using cheap, accessible compounds that have been deliberately pushed out of the mainstream. That archive is called the Complete Buried Blueprint Vault, and you can find the link to access it in the description below this video. Dozens of classified home survival and DIY restoration guides are inside. The kind of knowledge that used to be passed down from builders and engineers before the industry decided it was more profitable to sell you a product than to teach you the truth. The link is in the description. Go there after this video. But stay right here, because exactly how you apply this changes everything. Now let's talk about the science. Because understanding why glycerin works the way it does is what separates people who are going to use this correctly from people who try it once, do it wrong, and go back to the silicone sprays. Tires, at a microscopic level, are not solid. The vulcanized rubber compound that makes up your tire sidewalls and tread is full of micropores, tiny channels throughout the material that allow the rubber to remain flexible. When your tire is new, those pores are saturated with the natural oils and chemical compounds baked into the rubber during manufacturing, including those antiozonants we talked about. As the tire ages, as it bakes under UV radiation and cycles through heat and cold, those oils migrate outward. They evaporate. They get stripped by solvent-based chemicals. The rubber dries from the inside out. The micropores become empty. That is when your tire starts to crack. That is dry rot. That is the beginning of structural failure. That is a tire that is going to fail you on the highway. Glycerin is a humectant and an emollient. When you apply it to the surface of dry rubber, it does not sit on top like silicone does. Silicone molecules are too large to penetrate rubber. They coat it. Glycerin molecules are small enough to enter those micropores and bond to the rubber on a molecular level. Once inside, glycerin's humectant properties begin working. It actively draws moisture from the surrounding air and pulls it inward into the rubber compound. It rehydrates the material from the inside out. It does not leave a greasy surface film. It does not attract dust and road debris the way silicone does. The finish it leaves behind is dry to the touch, deep and dark, not a flashy wet look. A clean, rich, factory finish black that comes from conditioned rubber, not from a coating sitting on top of damaged rubber. And because glycerin is actually inside the tire now, working, protecting, conditioning, it does not simply wash off in the rain. Solvent-based tire shine is gone after the first good rain. A glycerin treatment lasts weeks, sometimes over a month, with results that improve over multiple applications as the rubber progressively rehydrates. Now here is exactly how you do this. Pay attention to these steps, because the order matters, and there is one critical thing you absolutely must not skip. Step 1. Clean the tire properly. This is the most important step and the most commonly skipped. If you apply glycerin to a dirty tire, you are locking in brake dust, road grime, and old silicone residue, and the glycerin will not be able to penetrate the rubber effectively. Use a stiff-bristled brush and basic dish soap mixed with water. Scrub the entire sidewall and the tread face firmly. You want to remove as much of the old tire shine residue as you possibly can. If you've been using commercial tire dressings, there is likely a built-up layer of silicone and dried solvent on the surface. Take your time here. Rinse the tire completely and let it dry. Do not rush this step. A clean, dry surface is what allows the glycerin to make direct contact with the rubber. Step 2. Get the right product. Go to any pharmacy. CVS, Walgreens, Rite Aid, Walmart pharmacy section. It does not matter. You are looking for one thing: pure vegetable glycerin. It will typically be in the skincare or first aid section. You want pure glycerin, not a lotion, not a glycerin-based moisturizer, not a product that contains glycerin as one of 15 ingredients. Pure glycerin. The bottle will say 100% glycerin or pure vegetable glycerin on the label. It is typically sold in 4-ounce to 8-ounce bottles for between $1 and $3. One bottle will last you multiple applications on a full set of 4 tires. Do not buy glycerin from automotive sections or hardware stores. Do not buy products labeled as tire conditioner or rubber protectant, even if they list glycerin as an ingredient. You want pure, unadulterated glycerin from the pharmacy. That is it. Step 3. Mix your solution. Get a small bowl or a cheap spray bottle. Mix 1 part pure glycerin with 1 part clean water. That is a 50-50 ratio. The water helps the glycerin penetrate more quickly and evenly, and reduces the slight tackiness of undiluted glycerin during application. If you are using a spray bottle, shake it well before each use. If you are using a bowl, stir it briefly to combine. This is your entire formula. 2 ingredients: glycerin and water. Total cost: approximately $1. Step 4. Apply the mixture. Use a foam applicator pad, a clean sponge, or even a folded microfiber cloth. Apply the glycerin solution generously and evenly across the entire tire sidewall. You want the rubber to look visibly wet with the solution. Do not be shy with it. The rubber is thirsty. Work it in with the applicator using firm, circular motions to help it penetrate into the surface. Step 5. Let it soak. This is the step that most people impatient about a quick result will try to skip. Do not skip it. Leave the glycerin solution on the tire for a minimum of 10 minutes. 15 is better. During this time, the glycerin is actively pulling into the micropores of the rubber and beginning to rehydrate the material. You will notice the tire starting to darken and deepen in color as this happens. Step 6. Wipe the excess. After 10 to 15 minutes, take a clean, dry microfiber cloth and wipe away any excess glycerin solution from the surface of the tire. You are not trying to remove all of it. The glycerin that has penetrated into the rubber stays there and keeps working. You are wiping away any surface residue that could attract dust or create a slightly tacky feel. After wiping, run your finger along the sidewall. It should feel completely dry. That is how you know you did it correctly. No grease, no stickiness. Just clean, dark, conditioned rubber. Step 7. Drive. That is it. There is no curing time, no risk of sling, no wait period. Glycerin does not fling off rubber at highway speeds the way silicone does. You can drive immediately. The finish will deepen and look even better over the next 24 hours as the glycerin continues to condition the rubber. For best results, repeat this treatment every 4 to 6 weeks. Each application builds on the last. Tires that have been significantly dried out by years of solvent-based tire shines will require 2 or 3 treatments before they reach peak condition. After that, maintenance is simple and costs almost nothing. Now let's talk numbers. Because this is the part the industry absolutely prays you never do. A standard bottle of popular commercial tire shine at your local auto parts store runs between $15 and $25. It lasts approximately 2 to 4 car washes before it wears off completely and your tires are back to brown and dry. In a full year, a person who washes their car twice a month and applies tire shine after each wash will spend somewhere between $150 and $200 on tire dressing products. Products that, as we have now established, are actively stripping your tires of their natural protection, drying them out, accelerating dry rot, shortening their lifespan, and coating your paint and wheel wells in petroleum silicone that attracts grime and makes your car harder to maintain. Now compare that to one $3 bottle of pure glycerin that, mixed 1-to-1 with water, provides enough solution for 6 to 8 full treatments of a 4-tire vehicle. $12 a year, maybe $15 if you're generous with it, for superior results, better tire health, no sling, no dust attraction, no paint contamination, no ongoing damage to the rubber you're trying to protect. The industry doesn't just want you to keep buying their product. They need you to keep buying it because they have engineered it to make your tires worse so that you feel compelled to apply more. It is a cycle of controlled damage. Buy the spray, strip the protection, tires look worse, buy more spray. Around and around, every single year, until your tires crack, dry rot, and you spend another $1,000 on a new set years before you should have had to. $1. Clean tires. Healthier rubber. A finish that does not scream at you from across the parking lot that something fake and greasy is coating your car. Just clean, dark conditioned rubber that was treated with the same science that military engineers and industrial chemists understood 200 years ago, before a billion-dollar industry decided your ignorance was more profitable than your knowledge. If this video changed the way you think about what you have been buying, then do one thing right now: share it. Send it to someone who still uses tire shine. Send it to anyone who details their car and doesn't know what they're actually doing to their tires. This channel exists because people share the truth when they find it, and the industry spends enormous resources trying to make sure it never gets found. Every share is an act of resistance against a system designed to keep you spending money on things that hurt you. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the bell. Every single upload from this channel is another blueprint pulled out from behind a locked door. The next blueprint opens soon, and what's inside is even heavier.